Hello, I'm Ben of Board Game Schoolhouse, and this is Gondor Calls for Aid, where you can come to learn how to play Lord of the Rings board games better. I hope. Today we're talking about Journeys in Middle-earth's Legolas. Isn't it just beautiful when the text comes to life before your eyes? Legolas' stats have the typical spread, with his 4 in agility, his 3s in wit and wisdom, and his 2s in might and spirit. He's got a damage to fear ratio of 4 to 6, and he has, like most elves, an inspiration limit of 5. Legolas' unique ability makes him absolutely incredible at safely moving around the map. If you can prepare Tireless, he can use it to move 5 spaces all in one turn and still interact. And that's before using any cards with Sprint, other fancy skill cards you may have prepared, or any movement enhancing items. Whatever build you end up using, Legolas' hypermobility can be the difference between victory and defeat in your adventures in Middle-earth. But that's enough introduction, after all.
Gondor Calls for Aid!
And Board Game Schoolhouse
will answer.
Legolas' suggested build is Hunter, which is highly thematic and a strong build, but it often gets overlooked because building Legolas out as Pathfinder is so incredibly strong, which we'll talk about later. Nonetheless, I know there's a lot of players who prefer to just play the suggested roles, and also who don't really like to multi-class. So, given that, here's how to play Hunter best. Your skill deck priority should be On the Hunt, Stalk Prey, Falcon Companion, Deathstroke, Gather Supplies, and Coordinated Strike. For your armor, upgrade the Cloak to Tuckborough Cloak, and then to Windwalker. Windwalker on Legolas is real good, as it makes an already mobile hero even more mobile. For the weapon, upgrade the Great Bow to the Mirkwood Great Bow, then Silverfall, and finally, Bolt Thrower. If you get Keen Eyes prepared, Legolas will have no problem bringing down groups of armored enemies at range. What elves are supposed to like singing songs, right? This Bardalos build reimagines Mirkwood's favored son as a bow-carrying minstrel. You could spend the entire adventure in the musician role, prioritizing Crescendo of Dawn, Tale of Tinnavel, Endless Wonder, Durin's Song, Lay of Nimrodel, and Burst into Song as your skill cards. I still like the Great Bow for this build, upgrading it to the Hunting Great Bow and then to Morning Song since, you're a bard and all that. For armor, still take the Cloak, but upgrade it to Fangorn Cloak, Slipthorn, and then Storm Shroud. The boosted attack options you get from these armors go great with the extra successes that you should usually be generating using Morning Song. Alright, if you played this game pretty much at all, you probably have heard about how strong Legolas is as Pathfinder. And so here is my Pathfinder Legolas build, but it is spicy. I give you Beastfinder. Start the game in Beastfriend and snag Iron Hills Goat. Then, multi-class into Traveler for paths less traveled, and finally multi-class one last time into Pathfinder, where your skill card priority is Unstoppable, Find a Way, 2 copies of Ambush, and Trail Sign. Congratulations, you are now absurdly mobile and an absolute murderer of all things at range. Note that if somebody else in the party is wanting to use Traveler or Beastfriend, that there are other good sprint cards to grab from Delver. For items, I actually would take the exact same recommended item set that I gave in the Hunter build from earlier. However, if you wanted to mix it up, for a weapon, you could instead take the dagger or possibly the hatchet. And then in your offhand, you could take either the horn or the harp in order to help generate extra inspiration for the party. I've got one last tip to leave you with for Legolas, and that is simply to remind you that he is the most mobile character in the entire game. As such, don't be afraid to run away from the party with him in order to fog bust or deal with threat tokens that are far away from the rest of the party. As long as you just keep at least one inspiration prepared, even if he gets completely swamped by enemies, you can just spend that inspiration to safely move away without suffering any damage and run back to your friends. And that's how you play Legolas better. If you have an alternative build that you like, I'd love to read about it in the comments. And if you want access to these builds as well as others, there's a link for you in the description. If you like the video, please prove it and subscribe if you're into that sort of thing. I'm Ben of Board Game Schoolhouse, and this has been Gondor Calls for Aid, Legolas. Remember, the shadow deepens, though hope yet endures.